It's October 27th, 1962, a quiet Saturday morning that could have been the last morning in human history. At this very hour, 60 years ago, the world stood seconds away from nuclear annihilation. One wrong move, one misheard order, and America as we know it might have ceased to exist. This is the story of the day America almost ended, the day the world held its breath, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It all started 2 weeks earlier, when a U.S. spy plane flying over Cuba spotted something unusual. Long, cylindrical shapes, Soviet nuclear missiles being installed just 90 miles from Florida. President John F. Kennedy was informed immediately. He realized this wasn't just a threat, it was checkmate. The Soviets had brought the Cold War right to America's doorstep. In Washington, panic spread through the White House. Generals demanded an immediate airstrike. Advisors warned of total nuclear war. But Kennedy hesitated. He knew if the U.S. attacked Cuba, the Soviets would retaliate in Europe. And in minutes, cities like New York, Chicago, and Washington could be vaporized. For 13 days, the world stood on the edge of oblivion. Schools practiced nuclear drills, families built bomb shelters, air raid sirens echoed through American cities. On television, Kennedy appeared calm, but behind closed doors, chaos rolled. U.S. warships surrounded Cuba. The Navy prepared for combat. The Soviet ships, carrying more missiles, were on their way. The clock was ticking. One misunderstanding could trigger World War III. On October 27th, a Saturday, the tension reached its breaking point. Historians would later call it Black Saturday. That morning, an American U-2 spy plane was shot down over Cuba. Kennedy's military advisors demanded revenge. They wanted to bomb the missile sites immediately. But Kennedy refused. He said, "We're not going to be the ones to start a nuclear war." Deep below the Atlantic Ocean, another crisis unfolded, one that no one in Washington knew about. A Soviet submarine, codenamed B-59, was being hunted by U.S. Navy destroyers near Cuba. The Americans dropped small practice depth charges, warning shots, to signal the sub to surface. But inside, the Soviet crew thought the war had already begun. The captain wanted to launch a nuclear torpedo, a strike that would have triggered full nuclear retaliation. But one man, Vasily Arkhipov, refused to give permission. He convinced the captain to wait, to surface, to listen. That single act of restraint, one man saying no, may have saved the entire planet. Back in Washington, Kennedy worked nonstop to find a peaceful exit. Secretly, messages went to Moscow. A last-minute deal was formed. The Soviets would remove their missiles from Cuba. In return, the U.S. promised not to invade Cuba and quietly agreed to remove its missiles from Turkey. On October 28, 1962, the crisis ended. The world exhaled. America survived. Looking back, historians agree, October 27, 1962, the day America almost ended, was the closest humanity ever came to total destruction. One wrong signal, one rash order, and one angry man, and there would be no cities left to tell the story. It's a reminder that history isn't just about dates and facts, it's about choices. The choices of leaders, the courage of individuals, and the power of restraint in a world built on fear. Because sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is simply not push the button. The day America almost ended became the day the world was saved.